Or did they look like a bunch of guys who just came back from spring break?
They look like a bunch of guys just came back from spring break in a lot of ways. We got some good work done. We were out there for 2.5 hours, so obviously we got some work done. But normally we're in our pre-spring conditioning workouts, and then we go to spring break, and then they come back, and then they're in not in such good shape when they come back. It takes a couple of days to get the rust off of them. Well, when they came back, they weren't in great shape, and we had to get out there and knock the rust off of them some. But as the day went on, it got better, and they started getting the timing down. I anticipated to pick back up Wednesday. We didn't tackle today, and sometimes that slows things down a little bit. The NCAA mandates that we have some days that we're out here and we have zero opportunities to tackle, and we use one of those today to kind of get back in shape and to get them realigned and introduce them again to their plays. So we got some work done, but it wasn't as fast or as physical as I'd liked it to have been.
So do you go back in pads Wednesday?
We'll be in pads every day that we're allowed to be in pads. During the season, the last couple of years, we cut back some as far as our padded practices, and I don't feel like we can have the luxury to do that during spring. So we're going to take advantage of every padded practice we can this spring.
When do you scrimmage again?
Wednesday. I believe Wednesday we're going to get after it pretty good. I have to check the schedule. I think Wednesday is a scrimmage day. Not the whole practice, but about 50% less, I believe, is what's scheduled.
Get everybody back from break healthy and good shape and everything.
Which was good. No, we didn't suffer any spring break injuries, which is a good sign. That's our worst week of the year for me is spring break. I have 101 sons. I have one son in Kentucky I worry about when he goes on spring break, and 100 sons in West Lafayette I worry about when they go on spring break. And they all made it back safe from spring break, and that's a good thing.
Is something you address to them before they go?
Always.
You want them to have fun and be college students, but
I wish I could go with them, But yeah, we talk about that, about making good decisions. And every year you read about casualties over spring break, and it's horrific when it happens. And I think our guys, we've done some things the last couple of years, I think, to maybe educate them a little bit in regards to alcohol awareness and decision making. And I hope maybe that has helped some.
So you were trying out Justin Kitchens a little bit on offense. Is that a trial or is that a move?
Well, a lot of things in spring allow us some opportunities to experiment. We'll experiment with some techniques, we'll experiment with some schemes, and we'll experiment some personnel-wise. We're going to take Adam Brockman, and he's still going to play some defensive tackle, some defensive end for us, but we're going to use him a little bit on maybe the goal line, some offensively, as a blocker, either out of the backfield or in motion, or even maybe on the line of scrimmage. And we want to take Justin Kitchens and move him to offensive tackle and work with him the remainder of spring at offensive tackle. When we look into the future, after this season's over, Nick Mondek will be gone and Dennis Kelly is going to be gone, and that will leave us Trevor Foy. It'll leave us Jack DeBoof. It'll also, if Justin Kitchens, if he does like we think he can do, we'll have 3 really good tackles, athletic tackles. I like Josh Davis at tackle, not quite as tall as some, and he might be better suited to play inside some. We moved Eric McDaniel over there the beginning of spring, and he's really caught on fast. He's a heck of an athlete, and he can make plays just with his athleticism. And when you're a superior athlete on the offensive line, it allows you to recover out of some bad situations. And I see Eric McDaniel doing that some. He doesn't know what to do that well, but he has the athleticism to recover, and we think Justin Kitchens can as well. He's 280 pounds, really long arms, and lots of eligibility left. So we're going to try him there the remainder of spring, and then I got a good feeling about him today watching him. He's a great athlete, so he could be successful there.
Did somebody on the defensive line kind of step up where you could say, oh, we can afford to move Justin?
Well, I don't know if there's any one person, because in my mind, Justin Kitchens was in the mix, competing at defensive tackle and competing at defensive end. But when you start getting into body types and you start looking for an offensive tackle, that rules some people out. It would probably rule Brandon Taylor out. There aren't many 6-foot, 295-pound tackles, in the Big Ten. And then when you start looking down the line, he had the body that was better suited for that than some of the other defensive linemen. And then he's very, very smart, very, very bright, excellent quickness. He is similar in some ways to some other athletes that we moved over to the offensive line in the past. He's similar to Brandon Gorn in some ways. Looking back at Brandon at the same point in time, and then when he was coaching we were coaching at Louisville many, many years ago, back in the 80s. We moved a guy named Roman Oben from defense to offensive tackle, and he reminds me a lot of Roman, where he's got a lean body with a lot of fast twitch, really long arms, really smart guy, has the ability to play defense. that might be better suited for offense. I thought he looked really good out there today. We'll experiment around with him there the rest of the spring and make a decision, but I feel good about it, looking at it today.
I might not have just been paying very close attention. Kemp was out there today, wasn't he?
No, Kenny had to go take care of some academic duties. He's in okay shape right now academically, but today's the last day that they can manipulate their schedule some, and he had to get some business taken care of. So he wasn't out there today, but he should be out there on Wednesday. But there's nothing more into that other than he has to take care of business better, obviously, but he's okay right now.